We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody. Please excuse me because I can't see nobody. I can't see nothing. The sun is in my eyes. The blinds are closed. And I'm sitting here blind as a bat. But we gonna cook. We gonna cook anyway. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm trying to have some stuff cooked up for y'all. Some real good content cooked up for y'all in the upcoming days and weeks. Couple of surprises. Okay. So hopefully everybody is doing. This is really getting to me that I can't see nothing. I can't see the screen. Hopefully y'all look okay because I can't see myself. This is a wonderful place and a bad place. It's wonderful because of all the natural light. It's horrible because of all the natural light. Yeah, these are not the Walmart blinds. I'm gonna tell you that. They not. They are also like automatic. They don't have a string to lift them up and put them down. They lift and... Oh, I look okay? All right. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about Black women aren't successful and nobody's intimidated, beloved. Nobody's intimidated by you, beloved. And this was sparked by the topic that happened on the Lapeef Network. Shout out to the Lapeef Network. Okay. Good brothers and sisters over there. But we're going to talk about this whole concept of a successful woman and whether or not men are intimidated by such a woman in relationships. This is really bothering me that I can't see nothing. I do not like me being blind. Oh Allah, please don't ever let me go blind. Because the first thing is we're gonna have to define successful. That's number one. What is a successful woman? What's a successful woman? You can put in the chat what you think a successful woman is. Because it seems to be that in 2022, a woman's success is the same thing as a man's success. And I want to know if everybody agree with that. if a man's success and a woman's success is the same thing. Okay? Because that is the premise of what was discussed on that show. But we're going to broaden the conversation today. Because a lot of times when anybody talks about a successful woman, they are talking about her 5 external qualifications. Those 5 external values is what we're talking about, or what they usually are talking about when they say a successful woman. A woman that has mobility. A woman that has a higher education. A woman that has a defined and probably lucrative profession. A woman that has leisure. Okay? And a woman that either has wealth or is approaching wealth. Okay? So when we talk about a successful woman, we never really talk about the 5 internal things. We don't talk about her spiritual value. We don't talk about her health value. We don't talk about her family value. We don't talk about her appearance, and we don't talk about her dwelling. Okay? So when we talk about a successful woman, thank you, Norman, then we are talking about a woman that has her external values covered. In other words, she has her masculinity covered. Because it actually takes a woman with strong internal values to pursue external values and still be feminine. And this is where that the men are intimidated actually comes from, but it's a false narrative. Okay? It is a masculine concept of success. And black women have fell hook, line, and sinker into this false narrative about what success means for her. Now, I know that we are no longer in the 30s and 40s. Women are working, women have liberation, women have rights, women have freedom. Thank you, Sun God. And I'm not here to say it's wrong for women to be able to work and go to school and be educated and all of those sorts of things. I am not saying anything is wrong with that. Okay? Nothing is wrong with that. Times change. Cultures change. Okay? Cultures change. Civilizations change. The dynamics of them change. However, the biology does not change. And the other thing that does not change is what it takes at its most basic in order to make families whole, to create nuclear and extended families, and to create solid communities. Because that is rooted in the biology. That is rooted in the biology of men and women. Okay? So not only is it a masculine perspective to deem success only along the lines of profession and wealth, it is also a lost value system perspective. Okay? Because when we take another look at the lost value system, and we take a real good look at the lost value system, we see, thank you, pound for pound, we see that, of course, wealth, leisure, profession, education, and mobility are towards the top. This is why success is deemed only along these external values. Okay? where wealth has no detachment. You become the money that you have or don't have. Let's talk about wealth for a minute and the lack of detachment and what that actually means. Because what that actually means is that you become whatever's in your pocket. If you don't have much money in your pocket, then you are not to be regarded as much of a human being. And if you have a lot of money in your pocket, then you can be regarded as a better human being. Because there's no detachment of the wealth from the self. Thank you, Mr. Vincenzo. There's no detachment of the concept of how much money I have being applied to my intrinsic value as a person. Oh, thank you, Mr. Donnie Mac. Yeah, I'm trying to put the studio back together. I'm trying to put the band back together. There's some things I want to do. But, you know, the plain background was, you know, plain. But there's no detachment from the value of who I am versus the value of the monetary value of the finances I possess. Because under the lost value system, wealth adds value to the person. Hey, sweet Melody, wealth adds value to the person rather than the person adding value to the wealth. And this is where everything really goes wrong, because the wealth adds value to your internal self. This is why all of that stuff is at the bottom of the pyramid, and that your internal values are not worth anything if they are not monetized. Okay? So your spiritual value, your health, your family, your appearance, or dwelling, all of that has to be attached to getting a bag, getting to the bag. It either has to be attached to it or it has to be discarded in order to get to the bag. See, family got to be monetized, just like old girl that was trying to get Drake's DNA. She wasn't trying to have a child for the sake of having a child and being a mother and having a family and building a family. That was not, the family was just the biological thing that she needed in order to get to the wealth. That was it. The child is the check. The child is not the child. You understand? So family must be monetized. See, it's not worth anything to just go and be a good woman, a woman that can actually attract Drake's attention or another man like him, his attention, and actually become his wife so that you can actually get this benefit from him all the time. You'll actually be able to benefit from that which he builds all the time. You won't have to try to gank him for no money. He'll give it to you. But then you'll also be able to get the benefit of not just his dollar. Thank you, IDP. But see, when you living under the lost value system, you don't think like that, because money is where it's at. Not all of this other flim-flam internal BS that we talking about, being a good person. Don't nobody need to be a good person when you get into the bag. Nobody needs a moral compass when you get into the bag. That's only going to stop you. That's only going to slow you down from getting to the bag. Because you need to be a scumbag piece of crap in order to get to a bag. You need to be willing to sell your values down the river in order to get to the bag. Because as long as you try to have this moral standing or this moral code or this principle that you live by, I'm sorry, you always gonna be a broke idiot. You're gonna be stupid and broke. Thank you, Hank. You don't need to have honesty and integrity. And you don't need to have a principle and a code that actually maintains who you are no matter what situation you in and no matter what bag you get into. Because under the lost value system thinking, it's the moral that stop you from the wealth. That's why people are so willing to become pieces of walking fecal matter in order to get $1 in their pocket. This is why this woman was willing to do whatever it took, making every kind of risk that she could take in order to have the DNA of Drake so that she could rope him for 18 or plus years with a child. He could have been battling with an STD and decided, you know what, let me wear a condom. I don't want to transmit it. He might have been that kind of irresponsible. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying this is a hypothetical scenario. He could have been, you know what I'm saying, just was coming off of a little something. He done took his last little rounds of medication, but he just trying to be precautious not to spread nothing. And it was something in that condom worse than hot sauce. And she trying to put it inside of her when he done already tried to prevent her from getting it for whatever reason. Now, what if he had that package? Not that condom stopped the package, but you understand what I'm saying. What if he had that package? Okay. I don't know who else called it the package. I know we call it that in Chicago. I don't know if somebody else called it the package. But that's what we call it. So everybody wants to be able to discard their humanity in order to get to a bag. You'll do whatever you got to do. You'll slit whatever throat you got to slit. You'll step on whoever or whatever you have to step on in order to get to the money. So you don't need integrity as a human being for the money. And black women have really taken that on, that they don't have to even be decent human beings anymore. This is kind of the sad part to it. They don't gotta be decent human beings. A lot of black women running around here feel like they ain't gotta be decent human beings. That the decency, human decency, is not required. As long as she gets what she wants, she don't gotta be a decent human being. She don't gotta be decent to her children. She don't have to be decent to her man. She don't have to be decent to her co-workers. She don't have to be decent to her friends. She doesn't have to be decent to associates and people that, you know what I'm saying, just encounter her on any sort of regular basis. She don't have to be decent with these people. So how is it success when you don't even gotta feel like you gotta be decent with nobody? Ain't nobody intimidated. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that we really gotta talk about today. As you go around and be a piece of crap, you can't get no respect. Do we know that? Do we as black women understand that when we are out here in the public eye, whether it is physically in public, whether we are in public online, social media, or whatever the case may be, that we actually manage to lose respect because we can't manage to give any? I wonder, do black women understand that they actually dig their own graves with that? You can't get respect without giving it. And as we move through this world feeling like our crap don't stink, and that everybody just got to deal with who we are and what we do, no matter how ridiculous it is, we actually lose respect. We lose respect as women. Because we think acting in this masculine manner somehow puts us in position to actually be respected. Or we actually think that we're intimidating someone by playing this masculine role. Nobody's intimidated. But we'll get to the intimidation part a little bit later. The real truth, why I say this is why black women aren't successful, is because you failing in being a woman. You cannot be successful when you are not able to fulfill your purpose or even know your purpose or fulfill your function as intended. You can't be successful. And I've used this analogy before. If you went to buy a vacuum cleaner, let's say you spent a few $100s on a Dyson. You went and got you the biggest, baddest Dyson that the store had to offer. And you came home and you plugged that Dyson vacuum cleaner up expecting that when you put this vacuum cleaner on the floor, on your rugs, on your upholstery, that it is going to suck in the dirt. But when you plug it in, it don't suck in no dirt. Instead, it shampoo your rug. And it shampoo your floor. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with shampooing your rug. The problem is, I bought a Dyson that would vacuum, not shampoo. So you ain't telling me that when I plug you up, you gonna shampoo the mess out of this rug. I don't like that, because you are not operating as intended. If I needed a shampooer, I would have bought a shampooer, but I bought a vacuum cleaner and you don't function. You don't function as intended and as described. And I paid about $500 good for you. And I wasn't expecting that when I plugged it up, water would shoot out. You don't even look like you carry water. You understand what I'm saying? When stuff don't work as intended, it's not functioning properly. It's dysfunctional. So that is not a good vacuum cleaner. That's like turning on your oven and it get cold rather than hot. I don't need you to do what the refrigerator do. You are an oven. When I turn you on 350 degrees, 40 degrees, I need you to bake this chicken, not freeze it. Do you all understand what I'm talking about? Thank you, Mark Laws. If you turn your oven on and it start doing what the refrigerator does, this is not a good oven. Because, okay, I like the function of a refrigerator for the refrigerator, not the oven. If the oven get cold, that is a malfunction. Just like if the refrigerator get hot. Similarly, black women, don't nobody need you to be a man. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. So they don't realize that what they call intimidation is men, people not wanting to deal with their chaotic behavior. Exactly. Exactly. What you don't understand, black women, is don't nobody need you to be a man. That's the problem. That's your problem. You running around here living a masculine trajectory of life and then wondering why don't nobody want to deal with you. Because you masculine, baby. Because you don't function as intended. Because you don't function like a woman is supposed to. Thank you, dedicated. Because you have lost complete and total sight of the internal 5 values, which is feminine. And you failing in that. You're failing in your spirituality. Let's talk about the failure of the spiritual value. You failing because you either got fake spirituality, no spirituality, or you're on demon time with your spirituality. Hello? It's the spiritual value that creates the foundation for everything else. And whether or not you're a piece of crap person or a good person, whether or not you are human or on demon time. Thank you, my names. Let's talk about a little phenomenon. A little something that I'm realizing now is a part of the young generation of women and men, and how low we have sunk with spiritual value. But before I do that, I am going to hit this commercial break. Y'all give me 300 or 350 likes. We're going to come back and we're going to cook. Be right back.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special.
All right. So, no, actually, we're not talking about the Kay and Kayla show. I'm not talking about them. That show, the Lapeef Network topic inspired this topic, but I'm not talking about them. Just Jay, before I go on into the way in which we felt, I'm going to address something that Just Jay said. She said people call everything masculine nowadays. And I hear what she's saying. Here's what a lot of people misunderstand about masculine and feminine. Because we have a tendency to think that even those who are proponents of women being feminine and men being masculine still have the thought pattern that a feminine woman is a meek, weak woman. She's a weak woman. She's a woman that doesn't have the backbone necessary to speak up for herself. She doesn't really have any boundaries. People can kind of do and say whatever they want with her. And she's more cowardly. And she doesn't, she's any way the wind blows. You can kind of say and do anything to this woman. And in order for her to remain in her feminine energy, she can't have a boundary. That's not true. A lot of people are still laboring under that if she has a boundary, now all of a sudden it's masculine. No, it's not. Feminine women are some of the most powerful women that I know. Because they're not cowards. Because they do have boundaries and structures. Because they are able to, you see what I'm saying? They are able to assert themselves without being masculine. There's a such thing. Like, I can say what I need to say without trying to match a man's energy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Miss J. I know what you're talking about, beloved. People have a still laboring under a misconception. I may try to do a show that's kind of centered on that. Thank you so much, Rob Mack. But let's get to the spiritual. This is something that I noticed. Oh, thank you, C. Girl, I be all in I always forget that neighborhood. Over there by 87, 95th in Harlem, where the Muslims is at. I always forget. It started with a B. I always forget it. Anyway. Here's something I noticed about, and this goes into the spiritual value. I noticed a real disturbing phenomenon, sexual phenomenon. What's with all these young women having intercourse on their cycle? Have y'all noticed that? Have y'all noticed that little phenomenon with the young Bridgeview? Thank you so much. Because I get it all mixed up. Bronzeville, Bridgeport, Bridgeview. I get them all mixed up. I know where they are, but I always mix the names. But anyway. Have y'all noticed that? Talking about a period don't stop nothing but a sentence. Listen, let me tell you, if there are any young women listening to me, baby, that is demon time. Okay? That's demon time. If there are any young men listening to me, that's blood magic. Okay? There is a spell being completed in many of them cases where she's trying to make you obsessed with her, trying to complete a blood sex magic ritual with you that she has already started, and you joining with her in intercourse while she's on her cycle is the completion of the spell. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I need the young women to get off demon time, and I need the young men to understand there's a reason why you do not copulate with a female while she's on her cycle. Because it ain't even natural for us to actually want to have intercourse during that time. Even if we become aroused during that time, we don't actually be wanting the physical action. We bloated, we filthy, it stink, we don't feel good. Some of us be cramping, we in a bad mood, and I frankly don't want you touching me. I almost don't want you looking at me, but that's another story. This fall under the spiritual value because at some point in time, when we removed the Most High from every facet of our life, when we flipped from the 10 life values to the lost value system where spirituality, religion, God don't have nothing to do with nothing that you doing all day, this is how we end up with the young generation not seeing that it's nothing wrong with a woman actually trying to have intercourse with somebody, anybody, and she in the middle of her cycle. That's almost always witchcraft. You better hear what I say. That is almost always witchcraft. That is my warning. I need 400 likes for that. Because any woman that have any integrity that's not on demon time, we do not want to be touched during that time at all. We would never, just out of the cleanliness of it, which is another part of spirituality. Because they say cleanliness is next to godliness, and that is completely right. That is absolutely right. And women who are on their cycle, we are unclean from a spiritual and a physical standpoint. There is no cleanliness that you can achieve really while that's going on. This is why we make so many sanitary items for it. Okay? This is why the pads got odor lock on them, and we study trying to be in the shower taking care of it, and because it stinks. It's filthy. It's messy. And filth is part of a lack of spirituality. Filth is part of demon time. Let's move on to the lack of integrity. Thank you, 39 Dina. The lack of honesty, the lack of ethics, and the lack of moral character that many black women have nowadays, just as a matter of course. Horrible character. Because let's just face it, black women think that depending on where she is, she can have good character or bad character. See, for a lot of women, she give you conditional good character like she give you conditional femininity. Hello? Because she think that in certain circumstances she can have bad character and that's supposed to be okay. And then in other certain circumstances she got to put on a good face and that's supposed to be okay. And she think that's code switching. No ma'am, that's just you having a bad character all the way around, and then you put that mask on when you go somewhere else where you know it's not tolerated. That's part of your spiritual value, having good or bad character. Because if you got good character, then you got good character with everybody. Even in situations where you're being challenged or the situation is adverse. If somebody comes to you talking crazy to you, you don't automatically jump back. Yeah, you don't automatically do that. That's bad character. Not only is it not feminine, it's just bad character. You ready to get rah-rah when somebody get rah-rah with you. Instead of somebody's getting crazy and what you do is you stay calm, you have good character and de-escalate that situation. Because from a distance, can't nobody tell if two fools is arguing or one. Okay? So too many black women just got horrible character. They go different places. You can see it on these YouTube streets. And I told y'all that I was still mad with y'all. And I'm still mad with y'all. Because I see y'all behavior on these YouTube streets and it's deplorable. You failing at being a decent human being. So you're not successful. Nobody's intimidated by you. We just don't want to deal with you because we know you got too much mouth, too much attitude, and you got too bad of character. You're vindictive. You aggressive. You will say anything out your mouth to somebody and don't think nobody's supposed to say nothing or do nothing about all of that disrespect you got. So people just avoid you. That's not intimidation. And you going through your life to try to be quote unquote successful in these external ways have made you put down or ignore all of these internal things that you need to be a well-rounded human being individual. Let's talk about your health. Usually bad, particularly mentally. Thank you, Nia Moon. You ain't got it all up here. You talk in circles. Thank you again, Rob Mack. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You talk in circles. You don't hardly comprehend nothing. Your comprehension bad in these streets. Let's talk about that for a second. Y'all ain't got it all. I have listened to numerous women in numerous different situations and conversations. Y'all comprehension level. See, y'all want to talk about the men and talk about we more educated than you. Well, I don't know how. Cause y'all comprehension level it's on life support, y'all. It's on life support because somebody will make a real plain point to you and you'll go around the corner with it. And I don't understand. I don't understand how you're doing it. You're running around here, the elevator don't go all the way up. You ain't working with no thoughts. I don't understand how you make it day to day in your life. So your mental health and all that kind of stuff, your faculties is, they questionable. They questionable. You don't look after the health for yourself. You don't look after the health for your children. You don't look after the health for your family. Thank you, Philip J. You don't look after these things. Your family look to you. First of all, you should be looking to you for good health. Y'all running around here still thinking being 350 pounds is cute. And somebody got to accept you for who you is. Ain't nobody got to accept all your people for who they are. Each one of them. You 350 pounds. Each one of your people at least 100 pounds apiece. You a combination of 3 junior high kids. If you don't knock it off. Hygiene bad. Running around here trying to bathe in Victoria's Secret bombshell. You need to do a bombshell into a tub somewhere, hot water and soap. Some of y'all get on these panels and I wouldn't want to be sitting next to you in person. Diet bad, skin bad, you 49 years old still with adult acne. Ain't figured out you need to put down zingers and ho-hos so you can clear your skin up. Let's not get on the family because we talk about that a lot on this channel. Your family is non-existent and partially formed. And you forming families out of something other than love and the desire for husband and children and providing legacy. Here's another aspect of the broken families that Black women like to participate in and say it's somebody else's fault. Y'all really want to know? The other aspect that don't nobody really talk about is the forced fatherhood. Forced fatherhood. And we touched a little bit about that in the Drake situation. The forced fatherhood. To force somebody to just shoulder your way, just like a running back through the offensive line. Just come through, just gangbuster your way into some man's life. Thank you again, Philip J. You just gonna bombard your way through a man's life. gonna make that man want you and be with you. Instead of actually listening to men to reform yourself, to figure out what you need to do in order to actually get these things in a healthy manner, in a manner that don't create a man's resentment for you, that don't make him hate you. We trying to get these men not to hate us because they done got to that point. A lot of black men have gotten to that point already. Can't stand no black women, none of them. And it's because of the reputation that we allowed other wayward black women to set for us. So now that's the culture, now that's the expectation. You just gonna have a family with a man that never said he wanted to have a family with you. I may or may not go over this hour. I'm gonna try to keep it here if I can. You will be dealing with a little dude, you know what it is. The days of men lying to you about being in a relationship, men don't do that as much as they used to back in the 80s and 90s. And the only reason why they used to lie like that is because women had better integrity than that. And you actually had to be in a relationship with a woman for her to actually give you and be committed to you. So there was a requirement. Thank you, pound for pound. But see, now there's no requirement. There's no requirement to be with you. You don't have a standard because you don't have a standard for yourself. So you for sure don't have a standard for him. He don't have to lie to you to get you to do anything. He don't have to lie to you to get you in bed. He don't have to lie to you to get a kid out of you. You will give that man a whole replication of his DNA. And all he did was look at you a couple of times and text you a few times and slide through one or two times, and you ready to get this man an entire child. Talking about you can't share your money. But you just shared your womb, sis. Huh, where they do that at, man? You would spit out 2-3 kids for a man you wouldn't hand your check over to. You don't trust him with your money, but you trusted him in your womb. Y'all better start making sense of this stuff. Because it's evident that your womb don't mean nothing and that little piddle in a check that the state is garnishing, okay, with taxes. You done cleared about $900. You ain't get but $650 in your check, and you scared to hand that over to him. He ain't none of my husband, but you got 3 kids with him. I can't tell. You live with him. You got 3 kids with him. Now he ain't your husband. Whoa. Anyway, that forced family, the broken family, and that forced family it's broken from the beginning. So you failing, thank you, General Tito. It's so funny how the office ladies with multiple degrees always ask me to hold a couple of dollars. Meanwhile, I have a GED. That's crazy. You failing at the function of women in order to the function that we have in making sure that our families begin intact. We should not be carrying no children for no man that's not my husband. Period, point blank. Thank you, Teddy Bear. And y'all can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do. But the facts are the facts. Why are y'all women carrying these children for men that don't want to have nothing to do with you? You knew he was a slide through. Thank you, AK. So you failing at the job that you have as a woman to ensure that your nest is intact before you put eggs in it. Eat my dirty, filthy, stinking pigeon. And I hate pigeons. or make sure they got a little nest somewhere to put them little filthy eggs in, you know they stink. And you ain't got sense that God gave a pigeon to make sure your nest is prepared for a child that you trying to bring in, that you trying to force. And let's be real, the reason why you forcing it is because you know you don't have what it takes to get this stuff in a healthy, non-maladaptive way. You can't get it in truth, you gotta get it in a lie. You gotta manipulate and you have to deceive in order to get these things, that all you got to do is be a morally upstanding woman, a woman that has her health together, a woman that has her family situation together, a woman that cares about her appearance. You get all on these YouTube, Twitter, Instagram streets and act a fool. Everybody know black women collective appearance value is horrible. But why is it horrible? And why aren't you all doing anything about it? Because you think it's cute to get somewhere and try to tell a man off. You think it's cute to get somewhere and cuss somebody out. You think it's cute. You think that this is acceptable. You think that this dysfunction is something that other people find entertainment and enjoyment. They laughing at you, beloved, not with you. A woman that can't keep her dwelling in order. And I don't just mean her physical place where she stay in terms of decor and furniture. I mean the energy in that place. The chaos that you constantly have. You can't never get no peace. Because it ain't never no peace in your house because you don't want it to be no peace in your house. Nobody can't get no rest in there because you go to and fro in your house as a lion, seeking what you can steal, kill, and destroy. That's who you are in your house. You're not a peaceful woman in your house. You're not a source of solace and tranquility in your house. You a source of chaos and foolishness and drama and stress. Your kids is stressed out. Your man is stressed out. You stressed out. And you don't stop for a moment to understand, listen, I'm contributing to this stuff heavily. Because you want to try to be right and establish dominance rather than have peace. You don't want peace. You like chaos. You ask for peace and then everything you do is an act of war. This is the failure. This is why you're not successful. Because you're not successful in being a woman. You're not even successful in being a decent human being. Many of you. Because you don't understand what it means to be a decent person. Thank you, Matrix. So what do we do about all of this stuff? How do we succeed then if we aren't successful? The men are not intimidated. Just know nobody mess with you like that. Your energy too bad, baby. Your energy too bad. You done went through your life and gained negative masculine energy. And don't nobody want to deal with it. Nobody intimidated by you. We just don't want to be bothered. We don't want to be bothered with your negative energy. Everything come out your mouth is negative. Everything that come out your mouth is a no. Everything that's come out your mouth is something I got to deal with that I don't want to deal with. And I just don't got the energy today, ma'am. That's why I blocked your phone call. That's why I didn't answer your text. Okay, that's why he didn't answer your text. He's not cheating with another woman. He just don't want to deal with you as his woman. He get sick of it. And you don't understand how to stop. So how do we become successful? We become successful by getting ourselves together first and foremost on the spiritual value. You got to have good character around here, ladies. How you running around here and don't nobody like you? That's problematic. How do you reverse that? You got to get down into your spiritual value. You got to take a look at yourself. If you're a part of a religion, go back to your book. Go and look at it. Go and read your Bible. Go and read your Quran. Go and read your scripture. Go read something. So you can get your mind right, so you can get yourself grounded. Thank you, David Perry. You got to get yourself grounded in some type of principle. Because we running around here and we ain't got no guidelines to nothing. And we make excuses about, well, ain't no guideline to life. That's a lie. Yes, it is. Ain't no rule book. Yes, it is. You better find your rule book. Thank you, Arthur. So you can get yourself together according to it. We want to run around here and you want to talk about Jesus if you're a Christian. What was his character like? And not just Jesus. What was the character like of the other prophets in the Bible? What were they doing? How did they act in adverse situations? Everything wasn't gravy with them. How did they respond? If you're Muslim, look into the Quran. How did the prophet, peace be upon him, respond to adverse situations? Did he get crunk with everybody? He turned up with everybody? No. When they threw thorns at him, he threw roses at them. Because that's how you reach people. That's how you touch people. Thank you, Grease Man. That's how you get people to listen to you. That's how you get people to respect who you are. Because you're a woman of principle and everybody around you know it. And everybody that meets you know it. They know you ain't just going to do whatever, whenever, however, to whomever. And they know you have boundaries. They don't even feel comfortable crossing you. They don't even feel comfortable disrespecting you. Thank you again, pound for pound. When you got your health together, people they don't feel like they can just say anything to you or do anything to you because they can see the low self-esteem written all over your face and on the scale. That's what that is. When you're running around here, you're not taking care of your health. You're not taking care of your emotional self. You're not taking care of your mental health. That's low self-esteem. That's a low self-worth. And people will treat you like that. This is how you get not treated like that. You have to start caring about you because other people are not going to care about you more than you care about yourself. This is how you succeed. This is where your success is, black women. This is where it is. If people see you love you, they won't have no choice but to love and respect you. Because they know you don't play that. This is the real self-love. Not just accepting whatever bad habits you have, but changing those habits into good habits. Dropping those bad habits and those bad maladaptive, codependent habits. And taking on healthy habits. This is how you take these things on. This is how you become a better person. This is how you become a better woman. People can read that energy just like they read that little messed up energy you got. They can read good energy too. And no, I don't even need to mess with her. I don't even need to step to her a certain way. I don't even need to talk to her in a certain way. I do not get spoken to in certain ways. Thank you, AJ. I just don't. I don't have that issue. Wherever I go, people is disrespecting me and talking out of the side of their neck to me. I don't have that problem. I've never had that problem. Get your family together. Stop creating these broken homes. You have to be wiser with your body. You have to be wiser with your choices. Stop playing the victim all the time and saying that other people's things make you react a certain way. You are the only one that can control how you respond. Thank you, D. You control how you respond. You may not be able to control what other people do, but you can control how you respond. Even the Most High tell us that in the Quran. That he created death and life to see which of us will be best in deeds. And what that means is I created circumstances and situations that was going to challenge you to see how you respond to them challenges. It's all about the response. Because you can't control the circumstances and conditions, but you do control your responses. And your response is who you really are. Especially the responses that you give under duress, under a challenge, under adverse conditions. Fix your families. Fix these broken relationships, these tattered relationships. Fix the relationship with your kids. If you don't get in there and tell your kids you sorry for all of that foolishness you do to them, help them not grow up to be damaged and bitter. Do what your mama refused to do with you, which was to sit down and regard you as a human being and not as the property that she pushed out of her body. I double dog dare you to do that. I double dog dare you to go find them kids' daddies. And if you one of them so-called baby mama terrorists, apologize to that child and that father. I dare you. I dare you to do the hard work. Say, listen, I'm trying to put your son and your daughter against you because I'm mad with you. And I'm mad with you because I wanted to have a family with you and I didn't know how to do that. And since I didn't know how to do that the right way, I tried to manipulate it and this is where we ended up. See, y'all want to be grown until it's time to be grown. This is grown folk work. This is grown folks work right here. This is grown woman. This grown woman, as you can sit somewhere and give some man your butt to kiss and tell him you said what you said, tell your baby daddy that. Tell your baby daddy that I messed up and I apologize. Do that. This is how you get through. This is how you turn your life around. This is what you do to correct the mistakes of the past. You don't have to continue to commit them same mistakes and then teach the younger generation to fall into the same pitfall. Get your parents together. Stop going places and doing things that bring shame upon you and your family and your children and your men and your mama and your daddy and everybody else. Everybody that know you got to hang their head because it's you. Don't nobody want to take you nowhere because they know you gonna climb. It's not cute. It has never been cute. People may laugh and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, you sure is Gon' clown, but see, that's why they don't introduce you to their good friends. Because they know you're going to say something off the wall and embarrass them. You can't be that person. You cannot continue to be that person. I apologize for extending this, but these things need to be said. You can't continue to be that cousin that always turn up. It's not cute. You're 36. It's not cute, baby. You've been doing it since you was 15. Don't nobody care nothing about you turning up. It looks stupid now. It looks stupid now. What you're demonstrating is the inability to grow emotionally. You can't continue to go places and make a fool out of yourself. Everywhere you go, it's a problem, an altercation, and an argument. There is nothing refined, feminine, or decent about that. Nothing. I do not go places and have altercations. I just don't. I used to drive Uber every morning for about 6 or 7 hours. There were strangers in and out of my car. And do you understand I didn't have altercations with them people? Of all kinds of various temperaments. Sometimes they get in the car and talkative. Sometimes they get in the car and quiet. Sometimes they get in the car and you can tell they was mad with somebody. I never got into it with them. Even if they had a little something smart to say. Okay. You gonna get good character and customer service until you get out of my car. It ain't but 15 more minutes. You'll be gone. And I probably ain't gonna never see you no more. And whether or not I see you again, don't give me an excuse to turn up on you and come out of character. You can't come out of character, ladies. But first you got to get good character to be in good character so you don't come out of your character. You understand? And last but not least, your dwelling. Stop being the source of chaos and stress in your own house. Somebody want to make peace with you, you got to go ahead and make peace. Stop trying to be right all the time. It's not worth it. Because a lot of times you ain't right no way. Let that man be right. Stop acting a fool with him. That man coming in, he listening to what you got to say. He trying to accommodate you and stuff like that. So what, it ain't perfect. You ain't perfect. All you do run your mouth all day. You got to stop doing that. You have to close your mouth sometime and open your ears and stop listening to respond and listen to take in the information so that you can actually understand and come to resolutions and peace. Stop trying to listen to him so you can dissect and dictate what he done said wrong. And which part of what he said you can jump on. You gotta stop doing that. That's how you tear your relationship up. That's how you tear your relationship up. All relationships fail. When relationships fail, all of them start at the failure process, at the communication. Failure start with the communication before it go anywhere else. So all of that talking about he cheated, your communication was bad too. I bet you anything in the breakdown of your relationship, you can go back and see how that communication was bad. Because relationships just don't break down overnight. If that's a man you want and a marriage you want, you better put your best foot forward to keep it. And it starts with the communication. The breakdown of a relationship starts with the communication, but the rebuilding of your relationship start with communication too. You better start opening up and being vulnerable. And start to get back the trust, if any was lost in your relationship. You don't trust each other because you don't talk to one another. You talk at one another. You talk over one another. Because if you get on these panels and talk over every man, I know you're doing it at your house. If you can jump on these social media and act a fool with all of these different men and talk over them, and I said what I said, I did, that's what you're doing in your house. That's why he don't want to talk to you. That's why you just shut up. You're not winning the argument. He just don't want to argue because he can't get a word in edgewise and you not listening. And don't know that nobody never sit here and say Crimson Cure don't give you no solutions. Cause I do. I just sat here 13 minutes over my time giving y'all solutions on how we gonna be better. We have to become better women. And we have to start looking in the mirror in order to affect that change and do the necessary work and not make excuses about, well, this is just who I am. Well, this is how I was raised. Or this is the person that hurt me and this is why I act the way I act. And all of them things might be true, but what you gonna do about it? Because your life ain't been going right, going the way you've been going. So what you gonna do? You have arrived at a place in your life where you are unhappy and miserable. So what you gonna do? It's not everybody else's job to figure it out. It's your job to figure it out. You sit at night and eat pints of Breyer's ice cream before you go to bed because you miserable. What you gonna do about the misery? You lay in that bed next to that man and hardly don't want him to touch you. And you've been together 10 years and you got 2 kids. What you gonna do? Leaving ain't always the answer. That's the coward's way. A lot of times you can just head on down to the divorce thing in the courthouse and file a divorce for irreconcilable differences. But did you try to reconcile it? You trying to tell him what to do is not an attempt at reconciliation. You telling him what to do and then he ain't do it. That's not an attempt at reconciliation, beloved. You better start going to some counseling and just talking to that man and listening when he talk to you. Hear what he's saying. Because a lot of times men will tell you exactly what's wrong with them, but you got to listen to hear it. Because he'll say it in one sentence and won't say it no more. I'm tired of coming in here. And the food ain't done. It ain't about the food. Do you understand that? You can get mad and help. Well, I cooked dinner yesterday. It ain't about the dinner. It's about what he's trying to say to you is that I'm fulfilling my part and role in this relationship. And I keep coming back and your part is not fulfilled. And I'm getting tired. That's why I don't want to talk. It's time to retrospect and introspect at that time. That's not the time to argue and try to defend yourself about when you cooked dinner and when you didn't. Thank you, Son God. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. Now, I done went about 17, 18, almost 20 minutes. Past my time, and I appreciate you sticking with me, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I can go another 30 or 40 minutes with solutions and all of that type of thing. And thank you again, Miss Lou Casely. Y'all better start listening to folk in your life and getting the truth out of it instead of trying to argue folks down and be right. Anyway, let me go. I'm not even going to start back on it. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for their very, very generous contributions, both in Super Chat and Cash App, and just your likes and your presence. And one more thing, hey, I can reach behind me again and get the A game. A game. A game. A game. A game. Hey. Hey, if you want to be part of the A-Game family, what is A-Game? A-Game is an all-natural supplement for men, a health solution for men with 21 wonderful herbs, natural, all natural, no animal byproducts, no artificial ingredients, just something that helps a man's vitality, his strength, his energy, and his libido. So if you want to be on your A game, and ladies, you got men in your life and you want them on their A game, all you got to do is click the link at the top of the chat at agameherbal.com and get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10, and you'll have this box of awesomeness on its way to you ASAP. All right. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming through, everyone for their contributions, and a warm thank you to my team, without which none of this is possible. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.